putt, hold, look. Okay? The hold is the most important thing that we're adding to your current technique. Hold, and then look. Good. Hold, and then look. Good. And as you're holding it, you're kind of letting a little memory of how much force you used. Now look. Good. Good. Very good.
Okay, Norma, we're going to compare your putting stroke to Tiger Woods. And first I'm going to show you the putting stroke that you started with before I made any adjustments. Let's look at your setup. You have a pretty good position here, like the width of your stance. You have what we call the Y position with the forearms and the shaft kind of forming the letter Y. You can see how Tiger has his letter Y. So that's a pretty good setup. Now the first thing that we worked on during the session was the putt, hold, and look. Let's look at Tiger to begin with. So as he takes it back, hits the putt. At this point his eyes are down, and then as the ball rolls away he keeps his eyes down. He won't turn his head to look at the ball rolling until his stroke is completed. So now his stroke is finished, and you'll see him now start to turn and look. And while he's looking, he keeps his putter in the same finishing position. He's not recoiling the putter back. He's holding it where it finished at the end of his stroke. So he putted the ball. He followed through and came to a complete stop before he turned and looked. And then when he did look, he kept his posture and his spine angle held still. As you take it back, and as you make contact, your eyes are down, but you did let your head and eyes follow the ball during the stroke, and then you can see how your putter is pulling back and you're coming out of your posture. Now we're going to look at your stroke after we had worked on the putt, hold, and look drills. So as you take it back, then as you make contact, your eyes are down, your eyes stay down, your eyes are still down, and your putters come to a complete stop, and you're holding your finish. You're not recoiling back. And then you look, and you're holding your finish, and you're holding your putter position as you look. Very good. Putt, hold, and look. So that's excellent. The other thing that we worked on was to remove the little wristiness that you had in your stroke, that you were a little bit, what I call flipping the putter through the ball with your hands and your wrist. And you really weren't swinging your forearms and your elbows as a connected unit at the beginning. And we worked on that a little bit. Let's look at Tiger, and I have flipped him around on the video so that he's left-handed. And watch how he kind of keeps this letter Y intact and swings his forearms and the shaft of the club as one unit. So as he takes it back and through, you can see how that letter Y swings as a connected movement. The hands don't stop moving. They move just like with the putter. If I were to draw a line where this forearm is and the shaft is, there's an angle at the back of his wrist there. As he comes back, he maintains it, and as he finishes, he still has that same angle here. So the letter Y is kept intact as he swings the putter, not just the end of the club, but the entire club, handle and shaft, so his hands move forward. So if we were to draw that angle at the back of your right hand, and then when you take it back, you can kind of see how that wrist hinges And what was an angle has now become almost a straight line here. You kind of lost that angle a little bit. Then as you come through, you'll see how that wrist really hinges there. So it just gets to be a very sharp hinging action at the back of your right hand. Also, you have a tendency to move your upper body during the stroke instead of keeping it still. If I were to draw a circle around Tiger's head, he keeps his head in that circle all the way through the stroke. He's not moving his body at all. And you can see how your head is now going forward, leaning toward the target. And so you move your head quite a bit during the stroke. And so we want to develop a formalized, structured, stable putting stroke. Now, toward the end of the putting session, we work specifically on having this structured putting stroke where you took the wrist out of it and you stabilized your swing. And one of the things that I had you do to help achieve this was I had you switch your hands so that the right hand, the hand with the glove on it, was below the left hand. We call this right hand low for a left-handed player. So we have switched the hands, and so for putting and for putting only, I want you to grip it with your hands reversed on the handle. I'm going to show you this stroke, and I'm going to draw a circle on your head, and I'm going to draw that angle just like I did with Tiger earlier. And as you took it back, you were not flippy, and as you came through, you kept your head in that circle, and you maintained that angle without it increasing. So it was just a much better stroke. You held your finish. You were doing the putt, hold, and look while you were working on that more structured and stable feeling in your hands. So you weren't flippy or loose with your wrist. You were more solid with the forearms. So that's a much better technique, and just continue to work with that. Very, very good, Norma.
Very good. I don't care. I like the technique, and that's what you're working on. You want to work on that right there. That was excellent. Now, if I was going to hit a full shot, a full swing, I'd have a full width stance. I'd be gripping at the end of the club. I'd be set up right here, and then I'd take a full swing. For short game, I don't want you to have a full width. I want you to get very close to each other. Very close. I want you to choke down more on the club so you can stand closer. I don't need power. I need control and finesse. And you want a slight a bit more weight on the left foot than the right foot. So I don't want you to be evenly balanced, and I certainly don't want you to have more weight on your back foot. But a little bit more on your front foot, and your hands are going to be slightly in front. So this shaft is leaning just a little bit more. And then when you take it back, you're only going to go back about right here. Not very far. And I'm taking it back really with a body swivel. While I'm taking it back, I'm staying on my left side. I'm not rocking to my right side. So I'm almost taking it back while my weight's on my left side. And then I'm going to just go right there. I'm just going to go here, and my hands are right in front of my belly button. My belly button moves a little bit to here. Belly button moves to here. So I'm not doing this and keeping my body still and just moving the club past it. My body and my club move as a unit. Okay, so let's work on that a little bit. Okay, good. Feet are close together. I like that a lot. The only thing I want to adjust a little bit in your setup is I want you to have your hand in front of the ball. Set the club here. I'm going to move it for you a little bit so that we have bump, bump, bump. Let me see you bump the ground. Good. Do that again. Bump the ground. Get on that right foot. Bump the ground. Excellent. Okay. Right. Get on that right foot. Bump that ground. That's good. Very good.
Norma. We're going to look at your chipping technique. Again, I'm using Tiger. I flipped him around so he's left-handed. And you can see how he has his feet very close together. And as he takes it back, he keeps his weight on his front foot. You can see how his legs are angled towards the target. He's kind of leaning towards the target, just like you are. You've got a little bit of an angle here, so you're keeping your weight on your front foot. And he keeps that lean to the target as he comes into the golf ball. You can see the ball coming up. He's following through. He keeps his club moving even after he hits the ball. It doesn't stop it at the ball, but hits through the ball. As you come through, you're keeping your weight on your front foot. You hit the ball, but you also let the club come through. Very nice. Now, the only thing I would like you to work on a little bit is that when Tiger hits the ball and he follows through, he will hold the club in its forward position longer. He won't just swing it to the end and then pull it back. You have a tendency to have a recoil where the club immediately falls back. So you have the club going forward, but then it immediately pulls back. You don't hold it in its forward position. So I want you to hold it in its forward position just a little bit longer. Tiger hits the ball and will hold it while he looks at the ball roll to the hole. And so just like in the putting where you putt, hold, look, I want you to chip, hold, look. Very good though. Technique looks excellent.
Very good. Does that feel better?
It does.
Very good.